Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jada Blossom, and it's time for the June 2025 release hop, and I have two cards to share. Hey, so I'm using the brand new Forever in Our Hearts stamp set and matching outline dies, the new Paw Print stencil, Jada Blossom's Gnome Dies Extra Parts 1, Gnome Dies Girl Gnome Face Add-ons, the nose, Gnome Dies Gnome Face Add-ons, the nose, Wheelbarrow Dies Love Mail Add-ons, Border Dies, Gnome Dies Easter Add-ons, that jelly bean, and Stitch Square Dies, and the Heart Dies 1 and 2. And I'm using Doodlebug's, let me see, Buffalo Check Wood Grain, the Gingham Linen, the Dot Stripe, and Doggone Cute 12-inch, and Bella Boulevard Dot Graph. There we go, and the sticker sheet from that Doggone Cute. And I did ink blend this background on the release and review, so check that out. But what I used is listed, on my blog post, which is linked underneath this video. So I'm taking some score tape and I'm running it along this little ink blended background. I used Bella Boulevard Besties Freehand Graph Dot in gray, and then I ink blended this stencil in Distress Oxide ink and picked Raspberry and Vintage Photo. And I cut it down to 3 by 6 inches roughly. And now I'm adding on these borders. So this is going on the right border, and then this one's going on the left border. And these were cut from the gingham dot from Doodlebug in brown. It kind of matches the brown that I used. And I'm using the linen side. And I'm going to stick that down onto my A2 sized card base. That's 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches, using my Martha Stewart scoreboard on my Teflon bone folder and Papertrek white cardstock. Okay, so I lined that up and I'm going to trim off that overhang with a pair of scissors, sticking it down with my ATG tape as per usual. There we go. And so that's pretty cute, right? So I'm making a pet sympathy card. I've been asked, I make cards for my friends, and I've been asked for these cards before. So this new sentiment from Jada Blossom, Forever in Our Hearts, is perfect for that. And plus, there's a couple of sympathy stamps that you could use for any sympathy card for people. But the other ones are strictly for pets, and they're great. So I'm adding on a sentiment to the inside. You saw that I added a 1-inch strip from Doodlebug's Dot Stripe, and I'm going to add my sentiment to it and a little heart. That the heart die is from the, what's it called? It'll be listed under my blog, underneath in my blog post. Anyway, so I cut out my heart dies in Papertrek white cardstock and then that pink gingham linen. And then I'm adding that little jelly bean shape that was cut out of Doodlebug's gingham linen. And you'll see that I cut out the little noses from that gnome dies gnome face add-ons and the gnome dies girl gnome face add-ons. And I'm making my own little paw print, right? So the jelly bean and the little noses. So paw prints remain on our heart forever. That'll be on the front of the card. Remain in our hearts forever, sorry. And then I'm going to weight that down. Now I'm going to stick down. Oh, actually, that background heart was cut from Dot Stripe in the pink. I'm just matching the Distress Oxide colors. So there we go. Adding on that. Next, I'm going to stick down these little hearts. These were cut from the, I think it's from the, sorry guys, I had to actually go back in the video and see what I used. They're the Wheelbarrow Dies Love Mail add-ons. So I cut all 3 sizes of hearts in that hot pink gingham linen from Doodlebug. And I'm just going to, add them on, visual triangles, odd number, right? So I use the 3 sizes. I just think this looks really cute. It's a simple card there. And like I said, you could watch me do that ink blending at the end of the release and review video. So I'm just rounding that upper right-hand corner with a 1/2-inch corner chomper. And there we go. So now next, I'm going to make a square card, sort of doing the same thing, but with pattern papers. So I'm using pattern paper from that Doggone Cute 12-inch paper line. I'm adding a 1-inch strip to the inside of this card. This was cut at 8.5 by 4.25, scored at 4.25 inches to make a square 4.25 inch card. Fits in an A2 size envelope. Okay, I'm going to add on a strip, like a sticker strip from that Doggone Cute Doodlebug 12-inch paper line. There's like sticker sheet in there. And I'm trimming off the overhang with a pair of scissors. There we go. And I'm adding on my little sentiment on the inside. So a pet's love. Of course, I can't see it. It's too small. A pet's love. It's too, oh, sorry. You're going to have to look it up at the end. It's too small when I'm doing the voiceover. I added 2 little heart stickers to the inside as well. I also use VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink to do my stamping for the sentiments. So I'm adding on a piece of paper. This is the 12-inch Ladybug Candy Stripe and Sprinkles, cut at 1/8 of an inch smaller than an A2 size, or so 4 1/8, I guess. Then I'm adding on a 4-inch square of this paw print paper that was cut using Jada Blossom's square dies. The stitch square dies, right? There we are. And then I'm going to do basically the same thing. I cut the heart out of Papertrink white cardstock, layering it on that same 12-inch Ladybug Candy Stripe and Sprinkles. And then I cut this out of that same jelly bean that I mentioned from the Gnome Dies Easter add-ons. And then this time, I used the normal little noses from the Jada Blossom's Gnome Dies, and I cut out 4 of them, and I'm going to add them on to make a paw print. So super easy stuff. And there we have it. And with this one, I'm going to center it on my A2 size card front. There, I'm going to center that. And then I'm using the sentiment, no matter how long, it's never long enough. And with pets, you know this is true. We're going to add that in the upper right-hand corner with my reverse tweezers and some Bearly Art glue. And there we have it. And I'm using some enamel hearts. These are Doodlebugs. I don't know the names. These are just kind of some loose ones that I had. I'm using, I put a red one in the center of the paw, and then I'm going to alternate these little hearts, you know, visual triangles, odd numbers, all those things. I'm using orange because that's one of the colors of the paw prints in this background. So there we go. So isn't that simple? So there's 2 pet sympathy cards. There we are. And oops, I decided to add a pink one to the center of this paw. And isn't that cute? So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jada Blossom blog, be inspired by the team, the Jada Blossom store, to get your hands on this amazing release. And thank you as always for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Make sure to come back and watch another one soon. Remember, there's a release and review video to check out. So check that out as well. Thanks everyone. Bye.